Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Inspired. I'm here today with Sasha.
Hey.
And myself.
Yeah. Two's a party.
So today we're going to talk about Sasha's life, actually, behind the scenes of the studio of Sasha's life.
Behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. So Sasha, so basically with this episode, I just wanted to ask Sasha some questions because you've been now at the studio for
3 years. Yep.
3 years.
In January to be 3 years. Yep.
So now basically she runs the show. She basically does everything. And then I just sit there and she tells me what to do.
No.
But how did we get to that point? So that's what we're here to talk about today. Because I know a lot of people are always like thinking, like, is it time to hire somebody? Do I need help? Like this, that, and the other. So Sasha, what is it like? Basically, I guess walk us through like what your day at the studio looks like. You get there in the morning, you turn the lights on.
Yeah. So you get in, you open the studio, you turn the lights on. What else do I do? Open the windows, get the ambiance going. I check the phone. I print our daily agenda view, which basically tells us the appointments for the day. Vacuum, I clean up. I make sure the bathroom looks good, ready for our clients to come in. If Amber needs it, I set up for her. I schedule emails in the morning. I check the website stuff. What else do I do?
I was gonna say, I'm like, do you like when I come in early, or do you like to have an hour of quiet time to yourself?
No, I mean, I don't mind it, but it's like either way, if you're there, I can't, I'm like getting through all those tasks. So it's like, if you're there, cool. If you're not, it's like.
Even though I walk in, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Sasha, guess what I thought of?
I prepare myself to be ready by the time you come in. I'm like, okay, just have it all done because I know we're going to chat a little bit. So.
I don't know what happened to me. I remember I was saying I was going to try the morning person thing, and then
Well, no, you do it. You do it a few times a week, I would say.
Oh,
right?
Okay. I don't know, maybe. So yeah, what else? What else do you do?
I'm there early, so I don't really remember, but
yeah, because you start now. So you used to start. What did you? You didn't always start at 8:30.
No, it was 9. It was 9 to 4 most days, and then 9 to 3. I think on Saturdays and Tuesdays.
Do you feel like coming in early at 8:30 is?
Oh, absolutely
helps out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about because you've had some cool ideas lately? Mm-hmm. You want to tell them? Oh,
which one?
Do you want to tell them maybe a little bit like your texting thing that you came up with? And people are probably like, "Oh my God, we've been doing this forever." But
yeah. So I mean, me and Amber were just discussing. We always go back and forth on how to make the business more money. So I came up with an idea to get in people's faces as far as their phone. So I send out text messages, refresher text messages every Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what I have time for that day. And we basically just give them $100 off if they book in 72 hours. And it's been a big hit, I would say.
Yeah, it's been a good hit.
Yeah.
So she's been booking more people than actually Google has. So that's
Google.
And then I pay you for those, right? If you secure them, I don't remember how much I pay you.
Yeah, I get a little something on the side. So that's motivating too. But
yeah, so she gets to send the refresher text because it was her idea. So then we just give her a little, which is basically, we're in a town that's like promoting, right? So I always think oh gosh, if you're a club promoter, and you're bringing girls to the club, you get $10 a head. Cool. Give you $10 a text.
Which is cool because at first I wasn't even, planning on or expecting that. And then you came in, you were like, hey, give you a little something for doing it. I was like, okay, cool.
Are we behind? Do I owe you money?
No. We
okay.
So we, if you guys decide to do this, Amber pays me every 10 people I book. And then that's how we keep track of things. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just use it as a marketing, basically. You're just my little marketer.
Yeah.
Cool. So any key things that you think somebody should look for if they're trying to find a Sasha or somebody up front? Or, I mean, because we've done a lot of interviews, right? Trying to find another one of us. And it's very, very difficult to find somebody. But are there any key things that you would say that we're looking for that would be helpful?
I think finding someone who thinks outside the box a little bit isn't too hesitant to maybe go above and beyond with certain things, because it's you don't. Things can be done in steps and just to the point, do the bare minimum and all that. But I think it helps when you just put a little extra love and care about the position, because then you'll do little extra things that'll help and do things like that. Like the refresher text, somehow we're so busy, but still I'm that's important. That needs love. That needs attention. So put our attention into that. And just so I think just someone who cares, I think is a good trait to have. I know it's hard to figure that out until you're like 3-6 months in or whatever the case may be. But other things to look for, someone who's motivated. We're kind of talking about that today. Being motivated is super important.
I think too, like we go through phases, right? Like sometimes you're like super motivated, sometimes, so it's good to have a balance. I think, I've been through phases where I'm like, fuck, I'm not motivated. Like, you're talking like 2 months. I'm like, Sasha, you got this? Sasha, you still okay over there? And you're like, I got this. But like, I think we kind of bounce back and forth with it sometimes. Yeah. Like, I notice sometimes with you, I'm like, okay, she's down today. I need to pick up some extra slack. But like, just recognizing that. Cause like, I clearly have days like that. And sometimes it goes on for like months. So it's nice to be able to be like, and even just saying it out loud, I think is important. Having somebody that you're comfortable with and saying that out loud, like, hey, I'm in a funk and I'm hoping it passes soon, but it's still kind of here. Like,
no, we're human. I mean, and to be on 100% every single day is, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But one thing that from day one, Amber's always said, if you come in feeling some kind of way, just, you don't have to necessarily announce what's going on, but just be mindful that we on the other receiving end don't know something's going on with you. So just kind of say, hey, like, I'm not my best self today. And then we know how to act towards you throughout the day and what tasks to give you and things like that. Because if you need a big project done, you're probably not going to have me do that day if I'm not feeling my best. Like there's days me and Amber are like, we don't want to design no emails. Yeah. Okay, so what else can we do today? And then we go to the next task.
I think something that has helped me from you is like, for instance, like I think I get overwhelmed. Nobody knows that. I get overwhelmed very easily. Like as I've gotten older, my brain, it's like I used to be able to juggle so many things. Like we're even trying something a little new with the podcast because I feel like I get off track a lot. So I'm trying to like have key points that I'm hitting on. But same thing in a sense, like from our day to day, I literally will be like, oh my God, there's so many things going on in my brain all the time that I kind of feel like I just touch on each little piece. Yeah. So Sasha comes and she's like, so I literally we use Trello and I have like this board that I just dump all of my ideas on. So I'm not constantly up her ass, right? Like pulling her off topic. But so I drop all my ideas there. She goes in, she organizes them, puts them where they are supposed to be. And then when I am feeling overwhelmed, I'm just like, hey, like what I don't like.
Like, what's the next step?
Yeah, what's the next step? I'm like, I don't know what direction I'm even heading in. Can you help me with that?
Yeah. And then sure enough, I'll throw something at you and you're like, oh yeah, we did need to do that. Or so it's helpful having that.
Yeah, because otherwise I definitely get off track with things pretty easily.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and some other things to look in someone if you're looking to hire them. I think a big part for me would be communication. Because if I wasn't able to talk to you, I don't know if we would get anything done or it'd be like my best self, Yeah,
and I think even like with the ideas like bouncing back and forth also, like you brought something up about doing something cool on the podcast earlier today. And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. My brain immediately is like, oh my God, I have so many other things going on. How am I going to make that happen? But I know that if I get the idea going, I know that you'll come in and figure out how it works. Yeah. Because my brain's like, oh my God, okay. Like I instantly go from, okay, Sasha's idea, great idea. I'm over here and I'm like, I don't even know if you know this, but like immediately I'm like, ooh, I don't think we can do that. Like I'll feel that way sometimes. I know I'd make you feel that way sometimes too, but I'm like, ooh, because I instantly see, I go from A to Z, like, okay, idea, this. All of that is needed in order to make this one thing happen. Yeah. And do we have time to do that? Yeah. So I was even thinking, I was like, maybe like once a month we could, do like one of those. We could probably, because if you guys don't know, we're going to do another podcast about, another episode about podcasts because there's so much that goes into it. Going to give the studio a shout out here too, probably in that one. But there's just so many moving parts that go to it. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But definitely having somebody to like be able to organize those ideas and what that process looks like. Because otherwise I could see that overwhelming me.
It's so funny because like the second I thought of the idea too, I see it in steps. It's so weird how I just like, okay, this over here. And I was like, Greg's going to film this. Like I was like even putting Greg into it. I was like, we'll have Greg like position the camera this way and then we'll put it on the screen this way. So I think that's like a really good thing that we have is that balance of like idea, steps, and then, figuring it out. And then we just mix together pretty well on that.
Cool. Besides hiring Greg from this episode, I'm just kidding. Any other last minute thoughts you have that you think that?
Yeah, no, just keeping the good energy up, I think is important too.
Yeah. The energy is huge. I feel like that's like the number one thing we say in like almost probably every episode. We're like the energy, like, because you know, like we were saying earlier, it's just some days you just don't have the energy. Like you're just like, oh God, somebody else carry this energy for a little bit because
I know.
I'm out of energy.
Yeah, but I will say you do a good job of keeping it together, which helps me keep it together.
If you ever see me, just like. You probably know. I'm like, because you've been around me so much now that I'll literally just like. I'm just going through the process.
Yeah.
There ain't no highs. There ain't no lows. I'm just going, I'm just this today. And that's all I got. But like some days that's all you do have. Like, and so, you know, I'm trying to make a more conscious effort. I think it's important to like acknowledge the team and say hello, walk through the studio and not be that tunnel thing all the time. Yeah. So just being mindful of that as somebody that's like, because people are looking at you to bring the energy, right? So it's like, you can't have shit energy and then expect your people that are with you to have good energy if you got shit energy.
Yeah, so. No fair. But then you also deserve your days too. So
I try not to. I do though. Every once in a while, I'll do
it's okay.
And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh my gosh, Amber. If anybody had as much as they have on their plate as you do, I would have been a freaking exploding, going crazy. So props to you.
It's weird because last little nugget here. Like it's weird because my personality will literally like. I will pop off like that. I'll realize I pop off like that because I think I'm actually very like in tune with how I react to things. I'm trying to get a lot better at it with not having those moments, but I feel like I'm getting better at it. And I don't know. It's just like it's like a weird thing with me because I'm so aware that I'm like fuck, and then I'll overthink it, and then I'm like da, 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 da. It's like this constant battle. So I'm just I'm working on staying more just mellow.
Yeah, which I think you've been
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything like lately that I'm like
lately.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's been a long time. I mean, I don't know if I've really seen any situations where you're like going crazy, but there are times where you're like, I need to get this off my chest. Let me get it off.
There's times where I'm like, this is me at the front desk. Yeah. And then Sasha's like, Amber,
is it time for a talk?
Is it time for a talk? We feeling okay? Having a little meltdown over there? Having a meltdown. And then I just start crying. But then after the fact, I feel like I'm very much so. I'll get to that point and I'm like, hey, on to the next thing. You can't let it keep affecting everything. Like, I'm very much so, let me get it out. Let's do this. Okay, cool. Bye. Next. Like, and then I'll forget later what I even was upset about.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. Like, let me just have that moment real quick. And then Yeah. So
key takeaways. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And don't forget to
comment. What'd she say?
Like, comment, share.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Sorry, that Tana usually does that part.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to keep us on time.